Jeff from Atomic Gamer here with.
Chris Rippy of Robot Entertainment.
All right, we're here to talk about.
Orcs must die! Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. So tell us a little bit about the game and where you're going with it.
Yeah, Orcs Must Die is an action strategy game. It takes place in a fantasy setting. Basically, the point of the game is you've got a million endless waves of orcs and ogres and runners and gnolls and all these creatures trying to get from one side of a dungeon to another, and you're down on the ground mixing up with them, trying to stop them, killing them in really cool ways with weapons, with spells, and with traps, and just making a giant mess of a dungeon.
And what separates this from what people would normally see as just, well, it's a tower defense game?
Yeah, it's pretty different, actually. It's got components of it that are a tower defense game. I think when you think about things like an enemy trying to get from one spot of the world to another, that's an important aspect of the game. But what's different about it for us is you are literally down on the ground with the enemy. So it's just as much of an action game where you're using your swords, you're using crossbows, you're using spells to mix it up with them, as it is about laying traps. So you've got a really cool strategy aspect of it with the traps, but also you've got to decide, now is when I need to go. My traps aren't working for me. Now I need to get in there and just and tear things up.
All right, now we were just playing the game. It's, what, 6 months into development?
Yeah, about 6 months. We've had a really small crew working on the game for a while, just a couple programmers, pretty good size, pretty good amount of our art staff and a couple of designers working on it. But it's been a small crew. We're about 6 months in. Got a few more months to go on it, and we'll be wrapped up on it.
Now, most developers, even for smaller games, you get 6 months in, they're not ready to. Developers aren't usually ready to show people a game. They're not usually ready to let people go hands-on with it. Do you guys have a more iterative style of development because of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of one of the hallmarks of the studio is iterative design. We got a prototype of this game up and running really, really quickly, and tried a few different things, started to get excited about it, and realized that we had something what we think is pretty special, and moved on and started making the full game. But as far as getting it out quickly, I mean, the games that I've made in the past, you're right. I mean, it's been one of those things where you go a year before you're ready to show folks, and we're gonna have the game out and somewhere around that amount of time. So it's a very exciting feeling to be able to get something up and running fast, and everybody's fired up about it, and you make great progress when everybody's excited about something, and it's ready to show.
Now some of our viewers may not know who Robot Entertainment is or where they came from. Could you give us just a little rundown of where you guys came from?
Yeah. A lot of us came from Ensemble Studios, which we made Age of Empires, Age of Mythology. Our most recent title was Halo Wars. So that studio went away. And then from that, some other studios developed in the area, and one of them is us, Robot Entertainment. So we're working on the Age of Empires Online, but also some other stuff. Orcs Must Die falls into the some other stuff category.
Now we've seen recently with Double Fine, they were a AAA studio, right, and then they decided they would back it off. Now obviously you guys, it was a different route of backing off, going from AAA game to a downloadable game. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like?
Yeah, well, the only way that I think it's different is the amount of overall time we're spending on something. So we've made a lot of conscious decisions just to focus on what's important about the game. So there's not a lot of outside fluff that's not getting a lot of attention in our game. We just don't put it in. So our plan is to have a nice, concise, rich, replayable experience that we put a ton of AAA quality. I mean, that's really all we know how to make is what we consider AAA quality, highly polished games. And so what we have, it's a downloadable game, but inside of that downloadable game, it's great.
Now, we played the PC build of the game, so it seems reasonable to assume that there will be a PC version. Yeah. But you guys haven't announced anything else.
Right. Well, we're talking about putting the game out on consoles as well. So all the platform, all of that type of stuff will come out soon. That information will be out soon.
All right. Well, I think that's all I've got for you. So thank you so much.
Thanks.